The initial years of the 1970s were not much to write home about. It was a terrible time for colleges and universities. It was a terrible time for Greeks in general, and Phi Kappa Tau was not spared. The 1970s decade opened with the deaths of 4 students at Kent State University, students whose passionate beliefs caught them up in the anti-war movement which consumed this country. One of those students, Jeffrey Miller, had been an associate member of our Alpha Alpha chapter at Michigan State before transferring to Kent. The early 70s also witnessed severely restricted budgets, and with fewer men wanting to live in our chapter houses, mortgages went into default, and banks were not at all reluctant to foreclose. To prevent the loss of physical facilities, the National Fraternity took title to several properties, thus adding to already strained finances. In 1974, what normally would have been a convention year wasn't. Serious national gasoline shortages dictated that we postpone the convention until 1975, and we also saved a lot of money in the process. Our candlelight ceremony, which will conclude our Brotherhood banquet this evening, was first presented at our 1975 convention and has become very much a tradition in this fraternity. 2 years later, in 1977, our last living founder, Taylor Albert Borradaile, entered Chapter Eternal. He thus became the 4th and last founder to live only in our memories. Founder Borradaile wasn't with us long enough to witness some spectacular events and achievements that have led us to today, to this convention, to this Brotherhood experience this night. In 1979, Phi Kappa Tau was the first fraternity to invite Mrs. Eileen Stevens to speak following the hazing death of her son, a member of a local fraternity at Alfred University in New York. In 1981, we celebrated our diamond anniversary, dedicating the Phi Kappa Tau Circle just a few blocks from here. The next year, Ewing Bowles issued what was called the Bowles Challenge, that he would personally match any gift to the foundation up to $1 million. At the time, it was the largest single gift ever made to a men's fraternity. In 1984, Mitch McConnell, Louisville, was elected U.S. Senator from Kentucky, and later that same year, the NIC presented Ewing Bowles with its coveted gold medal. Just a year later, a third NIC gold medal for Phi Kappa Tau was awarded when this prestigious accolade was given to Jack Anson, Colgate. Our inaugural Leadership Academy opened here at Miami in 1988, much the result of the leadership and spirit of John Cosgrove, Florida. George Voinovich, Ohio University, was elected Ohio governor in 1990, following a successful term as mayor of the city of Cleveland. 2 years later, death would claim Ewing Bowles, Phi Kappa Tau's great benefactor, at age 97. Astronaut Leroy Chiao, Cal Berkeley, became in 1994 the first Phi Tau to walk in space, and 1 year later, the fraternity adopted Brother Paul Newman's hole-in-the-wall gang camps as its national philanthropy. Joel Rudy, Phi Chapter, Bethany College, Dean of Students at Ohio University, in 1998 became the fraternity's 7th Chief Executive Officer. The fraternity's original central office building was sold in 1999, and for the first time the fraternity and the foundation shared space in the same building. Also that year, George Voinovich was elected U.S. Senator from Ohio. The next year, Bill Jenkins, Bowling Green, was the second Phi Tau to be elected president of the North American Interfraternity Conference. On September 11, 2001, 2 brothers lost their lives in the World Trade Towers disaster. In 2002, Steve Hartman Muskingum left the corporate world and was named Chief Operating Officer of Phi Kappa Tau. John Green, Nebraska Wesleyan, became executive director of the foundation. Construction began on the fraternity's Centennial Garden early in 2005, and later that spring Bill Jenkins became the fourth Phi Tau to receive the NIC Gold Medal. Finally, 2006 arrived. Happy birthday, Phi Kappa Tau. As that fella in Chicago is known to say, now you know the rest of the story. Those first 100 years have been special. Chances are pretty darn good the next 100 will be equally special. Even founder Bordale, who always claimed everything is working out just as we planned, would have to admit that as we enter our 11th decade, Phi Kappa Tau has come a long, long way from that chilly afternoon in Old Main.